What's going on, everybody? Klep Napier here from WeAreCritics.com. Still coming down from our high at New York Comic Con this weekend. And of course, we had to stop at our favorite spot, Wonderland Comics here in Putnam, Connecticut. I had an opportunity to talk with some very special people over the weekend about this gem right here, the Blues Brothers. That's right, Stella Aykroyd, daughter of Dan Aykroyd and son of Judy Belushi, Luke Pisano, sat with me to talk about this gem here. They collaborated with Z2 and Felipe Sequeira. We had an opportunity to talk with them about everything about this book, the art inside of it, and the inspiration from the original film and its legacy. And here's what they had to say. Check it out. What's going on, everybody? Klep Napier here from WeAreCritics.com, and we are sitting with two legends in the making, I'm going to call it. We are at the Classic Car Club here in New York City, sitting in front of a classic automobile. I didn't even know this thing was here. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know if you guys knew, but I came in. I was like, we're at a car place. We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect to see this here. Were you guys just as shocked as I was?
I knew about it.
Mhm.
I knew that it would be here, but I was still very excited. She's a beaut.
Yeah,
and I
she
mean,
is.
gosh, it's just such a cool thing.
Right.
It is like seeing a character from the movie, right?
Absolutely.
Like, wow,
I-
in the flesh.
Yeah.
I wonder what it smells like inside.
It looks like it doesn't smell too great, but that's very authentic to the actual Blues Brothers. Shout out to Josh from Z2. We had a Bluesmobile that actually canceled on us, and he got this within like 24
Wow.
hours.
Wow.
Shout out to
Amazing.
Josh. Yeah,
Wow.
this thing is sweet.
So for those of you who don't know, we are sitting here with Luke Pisano and Stella Aykroyd, relatives of the original Blues Brothers. What does that mean to you guys? And when did it click that you guys were part of some kind of legacy that just lives on through many people?
I mean, I never felt that I was a part of the legacy. I was always a fan. So it was my favorite of my dad's movies as a kid.
Yeah.
But definitely coming on to this project and starting this comic book and creating this story and working with the characters, I was like, all right, we're dipping our toe, taking on a little bit, maybe more than we can chew. And then it actually turned out all right. And now through the process of, post-production and talking to people, I do feel now like, oh, okay, I am a part of this, and
Yeah.
there's a much bigger picture, and yeah.
What about you,
Yeah,
Luke?
I think Stella just wrapped it up so well. I think just always a fan. And I think when we set out to write this book, that was the goal, was
Yeah.
to write something as a fan, for the fans, for trying to make something authentic to the story, to the legacy of Dan and John and my mother Judy. And I think we set out to make something real and authentic, and our hope is that we wrote something of substance. I think we did.
Now you say we wrote. Was writing in either one of you's like future plan? Did you ever think that you would even be writing anything, let alone a comic book?
I claim to be a writer, and
Okay.
I've been working at it, and definitely just working under very talented people and picking up sort of scraps here and there what I can. And my dad being one of those people, I've had the privilege to work and write with him, and
Yeah.
so I definitely think that when this came along and my dad said, no, I don't want to be a primary writer on it, and you should go ahead and do it. And then we came up with the story and the characters,
Yeah.
and it was like just kind of a light switch going on of, okay, this is something that should happen and that should be shared. And the Blues Brothers, that movie, and even the second one I'm a fan of too, and
Yeah.
they do feel a little bit untouchable, like if somebody had come to me and said, will you write a movie sequel? I would
Yeah.
say, no, I don't know. But this, the comic book, it was like, yeah, I think this is something that we should get cooking.
Yeah.
And we should stress that this is a separate story. It's its own story, right? But what are the things that the longtime fans can look forward to? Maybe some reoccurring characters, that kind of thing, or settings.
Yeah, this story takes place 15 years after the original film. Jake and Elwood are in prison.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and mysteriously Jake vanishes.
Wow.
And the characters in the story can't tell, did he break out? There's a young detective that's put on the case, and he learns through a lot of series of trials and tribulations, it's like a sweater. He pulls the thread and more of it unravels, and we get closer to the original characters from the film as well, because there's a lot of flashbacks, and you learn a lot of the Blues Brothers origins.
Okay.
And one of the great things about that is we work closely with Danny to make sure that we were bringing a lot of things that maybe he either didn't put in the original script or that he had peppered in, and we were trying to pull from that and make really rich backstories for the original characters. And it's kind of like a thriller, kind of a comedy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really tried. There are so many things that work so well about the Blues Brothers movie, and one of them is the fact that it's like a musical comedy, action movie, and so cool and fresh. And so for the comic book, I think we focused on what we really could accomplish on the page versus on the screen. One of them is like unlimited car crashes. You do not have to destroy any cars. You don't need stuntmen. You just come up with it. The other part was, the first movie, I think it's true. It's a love letter to Chicago, and we thought we can absolutely do that too. We love Chicago, and it is an instrumental part of that movie and the culture of the blues, And then we also wrote the book for all ages, because I think, what I have come to understand as somebody that wasn't around when the movie was released was it really was an introduction to, for a lot of people, of Black American heritage, the blues. People, I read something the other day that said Aretha Franklin and John Lee Hooker, their careers were struggling, and they got this part, and then it sort of like lifted them up. And so I think
that was my first introduction to them.
So badass, right? Me too, I think. And so I think we definitely in this book thought, all right, let's put in some blues greats. There are definitely some characters that you would recognize and introduce it to this generation that maybe hasn't ever seen the Blues Brothers movie.
Yeah. Now, it is very relevant. You guys know about the John Candy documentary that's out there right now, and he had a prevalent role in this.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a nod to that character?
John Candy's character doesn't specifically show up, but John Candy is one of my favorite, such a great bringing up. He's just one of my favorite comedians, and I think he had a warmth to his character.
Yeah.
And I think we tried to kind of bring in a lot of that vibe, whether it be direct or indirect. But I think what you're touching on is that there was a lot of these cameos and a lot of these people in this film's, the original film's stratosphere, like they're kind of orbiting around it, right? Like John Candy and Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Twiggy,
Shaka Khan, like a lot of some seriously amazing. Pee Wee Herman's in it. I mean, sometimes people you might not even recognize.
Oh my God,
and,
he is.
So I think what we that was it's a great thing you're bringing up, because that was something we really had in mind, was to make sure that the characters that are in the orbit universe, feel similar and are have that kind of cameo feeling to it, and they feel natural to the story. And we built there's a new band. We're pulling together influences from a lot of the incredible musicians that made cameos. James Brown and Aretha Franklin, obviously, we mentioned. And it's just, I think what we tried to do is put the heartbeat of the legacy of the Blues Brothers into the pages of this comic, and as Stella said so perfectly, try to make it really about the comic and not get caught in making this too much like a film
or
and
a sequel.
trying to really
exactly. Well, it's hard. It's so different writing as a writer. It's so different writing for a screen versus for the page. Viewer versus a reader. And so one thing that is really tough about a musical comedy movie is you can't have performances on the page. So I do think that we made some concessions in that, like, okay, this is not going to be a musical book. You're not going to be like feeling like you're creating an album with these people, but we really did try to make it so when you close the book, you're like, I want to see some blues. I'm going to look up some stuff on YouTube or go to a concert,
Now you got to stress the look, the pages. Whose idea and why this artist for this particular book?
Well, we got completely lucky. Z2 brought us Felipe Sequeira, who had I think he hit like a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth with this thing. Like, he is so talented, and we were so fortunate to work with him. He's a Brazilian artist based in Brazil, and just alone, like sending him a script in English and it being his second language, and being able to then take that and draw with such like elegance, like the script. First of all, as someone who can't draw stick figures, I was like, wow, like, so impressed. And so I think But the idea for the comic book originally was something that my mother and I had. My mother, it was Judy Belushi. She passed away last year, and so the book is dedicated to her. And it was the idea originated when we were looking for an organic way to bring these characters into a new generation, and it just felt like every which way didn't feel organic or right. And we got approached by a lot of random, classic Hollywood people who wanted to take it in directions that just really didn't make sense to us. So we were sitting on it, and this opportunity came. And one thing that really excited my mother and myself was the opportunity to work with Stella actually directly, because it would have felt incomplete without Stella on the project. And so a couple conversations, and as she said, it was between her and Dan, and Dan said, this is a great opportunity. And I think that's kind of where the magic is like that the family's still involved. The passion's still there. The music's at the heart of this whole thing, mischief, music. And it's a wonderful ride.
And definitely another thing, fan service is Luke and I never met John. Luke never met John, but Judy and John were best friends and life partners and collaborators. And so we definitely tried to put in the lore that I know about my dad and his time in New York and his time meeting John and their coming together, and what Luke knows, and put that in the book and really have like a solid sense for these characters, which felt really good. And then we sort of rounded out the team with our writer, James Werner. And it just felt he's a musician, and it felt really great to have a young Black musician be a part of the writing team, for something that,
Shout out to James. He was caught in traffic. This was supposed to be his seat. So shout out to James Warner. Without him, he's such an instrumental piece of writing this comic. For sure.
Now, I see that there's multiple versions, multiple covers. There's a deluxe version I'm hearing that includes some really special stuff. Can we talk about that?
Let's bring the deluxe version over here.
This is the regular one.
This is the regular one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, I love that.
Still special, still
awesome.
beautiful.
There's a R. Crumb style that was used for the flashback. So in this is actually two styles of drawing Felipe. I don't know if you would call it Felipe's traditional style. I wish he was here. He probably will tell you that. But he had some kind of style that was going, and then there's also a nod to an R. Crumb style for the flashbacks, which gives it closer to a 70s comic feel, which in the flashbacks is taking place mostly.
Wait, no, let me see. I was gonna pull up the.
No, you can't hold it.
But yeah, it's just so beautiful, and I think the R. Crumb flashback style kind of added like an element. Working with Z2, the comic book production company,
awesome.
They are awesome. You know them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're good people. And I think a lot of this we were leaning on them because I had to do just a massive amount of research on comics. I was like. Just trying to read them and understand them, and trying to understand the heartbeat of what made comics different.
They are very huge with collaboration, especially adaptation with other celebs, musicians, all that. So kudos on picking these guys.
Yeah, and they're all so different. Like you can really tell that each one is infused with the personality of the creator that they're working with. And my dad served as an editor on this book, and so I think that will make people feel very happy. And it's official.
Seal of approval.
But it's beautiful. It really does have a feel of, I've said this before, but it's like, take this home just so that you can hang with the Blues Brothers, and know that they're on your shelf waiting for you to go for an adventure.
Yeah, there's a new adventure ready to go.
Yeah.
Already, huh? You guys are gonna really keep this thing.
Well, no, I'm saying
this
one,
is the
new adventure.
Okay.
Listen, if we did this one right, there may be another adventure.
But of
we
course.
are focused on making this one as good as we can.
I think the fans are gonna be extremely happy. I can just already tell, especially movie fans like myself, interested off rip just because the story gets to continue in a new way. It's brought back to life, and I'm excited to get my hands on this and check this out.
Thank you so much.
Where and when can they get this?
Oh my gosh, when?
When?
I
think November 16th. I think somewhere.
I thought so
November
too, but I
So
wasn't
soon,
sure.
very soon.
So
Yeah.
right now it's available for pre-order right now.
Okay.
You can get it at z2comics.com. That's straight from Z2's production. Pre-order sales on Amazon make a huge difference for our general sales. It's a great way to help support us right now to build it.
Okay.
The deluxe version also does come. There's on Z2. There's a version
audio.
that comes with the vinyl, with an unreleased recording session with John and Dan, and it's a beautiful record. It's dark blue, and it just it's really well done. And
How do you know how much time, like footage, like how much vocal stuff?
It's
It's
like
a full rehearsal.
Yeah.
Never heard like recorded rehearsal
Yeah.
of the band, and it's a lot of songs that you know and love, but in a way you've never heard them before.
Oh, so these are actual songs.
Oh yeah, they recorded like it's a
wow.
whole
tracks.
It's a rehearsal.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah, it's cool. We're just
Well,
happy to share.
I'm happy to know about it. I want to thank you guys for talking with me about this. You guys are Blues Brothers. They live on. You guys got to go see Z2. Get you guys a copy. Pre-orders are now.
Go check
Get them now. I'll have it just in time for Christmas.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
man. That was great.